This is the match for the Winnerbracket round of 16. This is a match between the current W3Champion, that is the biggest Chinese server, that is Colorful, his big breakthrough, and his opponent is a top 4 finisher of that very tournament, 15 Sway. That kid is 19 years old. That is almost as old as this beautiful game. When Warcraft 3 came out, he was 2 months old, and now he's among the elite of this one. Cool to see him play again. This time, the conditions for him a lot better than last time. And yeah, it's gonna be a human versus night elf. We got that confirmed, Carson.
It should be pretty cool. I mean, 50 Sway has been known to play some cool one-base strategies, but he's also got a very solid expo style that he's played in the past that we've seen. So he's very well-rounded. He very much understands this matchup. You definitely got to, we saw the same with Krav, right? Playing random against Undead. Mm-hmm. When you are up against a race that you are very intimately familiar with, you can play off race and play it typically very well. So when you are a Night Elf player and you're playing human off race, you know everything that's annoying for that Night Elf player that you can do. So I'm excited to see what he does do to try to annoy Colorful a little bit.
This is, of course, before we had Russian. What's going on there? Okay, I don't really know what that means. Oh yeah, AG. Maybe we get a regame here, but that shouldn't take too long. We had a Russian, we had a Frenchie, we had a Korean. Now we got 2 Chinese, showing the international scale of this tournament. I am not 100% sure. There was a little bit of talk, but okay, seems like we're playing. And 15 Sway, the kid, 19 years old, starting in the bottom left-hand side for the human race. Colorful in the upper right-hand side as the Night Elf, without an ulcer in his base. Carson will, of course, explain what that means. The winner of this faces the winner of Hawk versus Chemico, which is a human mirror, which is displayed on Todd's stream. But yeah, Carson, Mr. Theorycraft, tell me everything about this matchup, this map, and why is Colorful not building an altar until now?
Yeah, it's been very, very common. Almost like, when I download replays, when I'm studying the game, when I look at games, almost every single Asian Night Elf almost exclusively plays Beastmaster on Last Refuge against Human. Why is this? Well, you have a very nice early game creep route. You can get those couple of archers out of your Ancient Ward, then you can creep the mercenary camp. You can, of course, get the mercenaries. There's an easy expansion to clean up as well. And there's just plenty of green camps, so you can very quickly get a free level 3. There's also nice consumables in the middle of the map of these 2 goblin merchants, which can help to bolster some sort of an early tier 1 push or an early tier 2 push against what you're expecting to be an expansion from your opponent. So Beastmaster tends to be the standard choice, tends to be a very strong choice, and it's almost like 100% of the time we're seeing Beastmaster on Last Refuge against Human recently, it feels like. At least for the top Night Elves, for the Moons, for the Colorfuls, for the Foggies, for the Loliots. Seems like we're always seeing Beastmaster nowadays.
Yeah, and it's also a reason why this is oftentimes vetoed these days, and especially in a map pool with 11 maps. I would have suspected this map to be vetoed, but of course, 15 Sway being able to play human and Night Elf, he knows everything about this Beastmaster play himself, and maybe he knows a couple of weak sides for that and can exploit this. It is a fast expansion, while the Beastmaster is creeping his mercenary camp with a beautiful, beautiful Bash Bear.
Yeah, you love to see it, and it only gets stronger the longer the game goes on. And yeah, 15 Sway, he's going for that immediate expansion, which I like. I like when human players, not against Undead, but against Night Elf, go for expansions right away. Because, of course, your opponent's going to be Ancient War creeping at least 1 camp off the bat. So you have time to get that expansion up for pretty much free. And then he goes in, not on level 2, but on level 1 with the Archmage, straight into the base of Colorful. A very cool open and creep route, and this is showing that he really understands what Colorful is going to go for, and he gets level 2 off a Wisp even.
Oh my, this is incredible. This is a timing that is very unusual. We don't see it too often. This means that the Beastmaster is busy defending and cleaning up his home base, and it's not getting level 3 anytime soon, and also can't creep the expansion, so he can't follow up with a second base of his own.
Yeah, this is nice. There's 2 bears in the field, and that means you should definitely run away when there's 2 bears chasing you, Neo. That's pretty much a rule you can almost guarantee to need to follow in life. And the mercenaries get actually stolen away. The Berserker got stolen.
Wow.
By the Footman. That is a huge play by 15 Sway, and it is tower's also going to be upgraded soon at the expansion. This is looking very good for the young human.
I totally agree, and this Archmage aggression is clearly something that can be a reason why he let that map come in. The Shadow Priest went to Colorful, okay, but it's under a lot of pressure already. That Shadow Priest super important to dispel the Water Elemental summons of the Archmage, so you really want to keep that safe. Archmage is diving deep, might be trapped here soon. My lord, what is happening? Creep's woken up now. Oh, the Creep's got the deny, and the Archmage is trapped! Is he though? No, he's not. That Water Elemental, what a buddy. Everybody needs a friend like this Water Elemental is to the Archmage.
Yeah, that was nicely done. That's why it seemed a little weird, but he was being very confident because he knew he had the mana to do that exact play and just pop the Water Elemental over. The creeps would prioritize because the Archmage wasn't attacking, and then he's able to get out. Seemed risky, but at the end of the day, it just cost him a little bit of mana, and the Footmen continue to pressure. There's actually 2 tomes of strength there for the Beastmaster. Colorful, go pick those up for the fans. Not for yourself, not for the Beastmaster, but for the fans. Come on.
The sacred texts. No, Colorful, not a man of the people. He's playing for himself, his team, and his family, and that's about it. Maybe 15 Sway will pick it up, and then Twitch chat can rejoice.
And then the Archmage lives on like 20 health later on. We're going to see it for sure. The Archers for now, though, going to be pressured. Boots of Speed, Dust of Appearance, and a very early tech for 15 Sway as well. All things still going pretty well. He hasn't been able to do a ton of damage economically. He only got that 1 Wisp earlier. But still, the fact his expansion was, remember, immediately crept and built. Hasn't lost any peasants. His tech is perfectly on time. It's going very well for 15 Sway here.
You know what they say, right? Sometimes aggression is the best defense, and this totally goes for this game. Beastmaster couldn't apply anything, not a single point of damage to the second base, where now Blacksmith and Arcane Volt are coming. Archmage got to retreat a little bit. Both heroes got boots. Colorful wanted to put on some pressure now with the Naga, but Archmage moves out of range, so can't really do too much. And usually you want to kill units with the Naga, but he's only killing creeps soon, and even that is contested.
Yeah, and this aggression from 15 Sway has also meant that Colorful wasn't able to get that very easy level 3 that I pointed out at the beginning of the game. He wasn't able to creep any of the greens around. He wasn't able to creep any shops quite yet, which is typically something very easy to do with the Beastmaster. But for now, the Footmen, the Archmage continue to pressure. The Naga's going to make it a little bit difficult for 15 Sway to do much more pressure, but definitely the expansion is getting more and more secure as the Blacksmith and the shop come up at the front. Colorful might be getting fed up. He might just be saying, whatever, I'm going to creep this green, then just push your expansion because you're bothering me.
All right, this early game, man. I'm really impressed with a 19-year-old kid who is called 15 Sway because that is 15 years old in Chinese. But you know what they call him in the community?
Tell me.
They think that he looks really old, so they call him 45 Sway.
What the hell? I've never heard that. He doesn't look old though. What?
Well, they do think so. Chinese community, man, gotta love them.
Alright, so defend for these footies. Yeah, there is a rifle on the way. Okay, there is defend as well. Level 2 Quill Beast is quite a threat to these towers that are upgrading. The Naga quite the threat to the Archmage as well. But the Water Elementals and the Footmen seem to defend well against this purely piercing damage army. But the Double Lords is also up for Colorful now. And Mountain King second for 15 Sway. As Colorful is just trying to find some sort of damage. He hasn't been able to find much at all, though, really.
Exactly. Like, how many Footmen did he even kill? I'm not too sure if there were many. Beastmaster barely level 3, but ooh, this is great damage on the Arcane Sanctum. Has to rebuild it. Naga and Quillbeast doing some good job. Archmage. Ooh, tanking a little too much here. Goes on the cost of an Archer, and Colorful, maybe not the best in the multitasking department. Get 2 Archer kills for the Archmage HP. But finally, Beastmaster and Naga are killing some workers.
He's finding some kills. He's sacrificing all the mana on the Beastmaster and soon to be all the mana on the Naga, but I think it's well worth it. And Panda second, the Mountain King was actually canceled for 15 Sway, and Panda's been more and more popular against Night Elf recently for good reason. It's got had a nice buff recently to the damage, and we're going to see how effective it is. Of course, you'd love to get level 3 on it, but for now he's just going to pressure the Lores, and the defended Footmen are definitely going to counter all these Dryads. Town Portal back now from Colorful. Colorful, who killed a few peasants, but lost all of his health and all of his mana on both heroes almost for that harass.
Okay, kills a Rifleman, that's big, but the trades still look okay for 15 Sway. Archmage is coming back in. I guess the Panda retreat opens up the base a little bit. This is still dangerous territory for Colorful. He's getting real strong on tier 3, which is about to be finished. Bear transition already started. Bears can be ignited pretty well by a Panda who needs levels, and levels in general is where Colorful has the advantage. He's down a base, he's probably, is he down in supply? Yeah, he is down in supply, but levels is where he shines.
Yeah, for sure. And that harass did a couple of things for Colorful, but most of all, it kept 15 Sway on very low lumber, so he's not able to bust into that early 70 supply rifle caster army with the breaker frontline that we see so often in this matchup. He's really struggling right now to even get his second Arcane Sanctum up and to get all those adept upgrades, to get the long rifle upgrades, all those good things. So that harass did quite a bit at the end of the day for Colorful, and maybe he's going to be able to get this Master Bear training done before 15 Sway has a strong army, especially if he keeps picking off these rifles, which he might be able to get his second rifle right now. Yeah,
that is one of the biggest sources of damage. The Panda blocks himself a little, trying to get the second walk with another bear, that Bash Bear, but Beastmaster deep in enemy territory, but with the rejuve, that might actually work out. Gets the Priest, which is a lot of healing. Archmage has to TP out from his front yard into the base, another rifle falling, and Colorful plays this power spike pretty well, I gotta say.
Yeah, this has been very nice aggression. It hasn't been just all out push Sonic style from Colorful, but when he is pushing, he's finding value. When he is creep jacking, he's making sure he's strong enough to do so, and he's going to continue to pressure the base. Now looking more like a bear bust than just the strong timing, and this Arcane Sanctum definitely exposed, and I don't think 15 Sway has the army to deal with it right now. He might have to call all the boys from the main base.
That would be a lot of resources, which then of course goes into lumber as well. No repair on that Sanctum, with the Sork is about to come out. Panda with another Breath of Fire, but he's losing that production building, and I think this is something that Colorful feels very, very comfortable with now. Panda seeking the backline, but there's only Dryads. They are magic immune. They can't be affected by Breath of Fire like the rest of the army does, and it feels like the human is just losing way too many units. Of course, he can afford that to a degree because he has that second base, but not if you really want to get that 70 supply. And look how mismanaged these resources are. 1,500 gold, 90 lumber.
Yeah.
It's rough.
That's very rough. He's going to need to get a Shredder, but he's going to need to break upkeep just for that Shredder most likely. And Colorful is just being so efficient. Like, he's been down in gold, down in supply. It seems like he's behind because he doesn't have that big of a bank. He's 400 against 1,700, but he hasn't been losing any units. Just the archers and the mercenaries in the early game. All the bears, all the dryads are staying alive. The heroes continue to level up, and the Beastmaster are about to be level 4, which of course will mean level 2 bear, and the Panda might be able to squeeze out level 3, which would be nice. Going to get the Wand of the Wind as well. But 15 Sway, he's got to hold yet again.
Might be okay. It's a little unfortunate now that he never cleared this mercenary camp. Would have been a good addition to his army. Maybe a Mauler, maybe a Berserker to make up for one of these rifles. Level 4 Beastmaster, and the only units that are dying is, I guess, 15 Sways. Everything else is hurt here. Another TP just to reposition as everything is trapped.
Yeah, this is tough. He's got so much gold. It's really a shame to be in this position when you have a 1,200 gold bank, and all the reinforcements are going to be cut off by Colorful as well. These are going to have to cower in the back of the base, but the rifles are going to be stuck back there in the meantime. The Sanctum yet again going to fall, and now that mercenary camp that you pointed out earlier is finally going to be cleared. Perhaps a Berserker and Ogre Mauler could be decent, but they're not going to be the army really that you need at this stage in the game. Level 3 Panda will be nice, as well as that Flute of Accuracy, but now the Barracks is going to fall as well, Neo. That's almost all the production.
Yep. He never built a workshop. Would have loved to see mortar teams here. The rifle, who almost stuck. But yeah, where's the damage coming from now? The water elements can be dispelled. The bears, of course, will feel the breath of fire, but oh man, he needs a lot now. Colorful is happy with this. Retreats for now. 63 supply for 15 Sway, but that doesn't feel and look like so much supply.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before he can get much higher in supply. He's got one Arcane Sanctum right now. His lumber is still hurting, and In the meantime, Colorful is only now breaking upkeep. He's been just chilling below upkeep this entire time. Now he has an Ancient Wind up for Fairy Dragons. And the Breath of Fire is good, but is it good enough? There's actually a lot of mana with that Potion of Mana, as well as the Brilliance Aura on the Panda, so could be decent for the Bears. There is, however, a Hero Scroll on the Beastmaster currently. The kiting is being attempted, but there's just so much damage for Colorful currently.
Oh man, and this Mauler is about to fall. That is a huge amount of experience. Naga with good damage with the Orb of Venom now. Excellent, excellent item. Bears are starting to fall. The Breath of Fire is doing work. There's no Heal Scroll. Maybe 15 Sway is holding on. Heal Scroll on his side saves quite a bit. Panda in trouble. One with the Wind immediately dispelled. Quick reactions for the NetEase champion. And the next Mercenary falls thanks to the Orb. Man, this Naga getting so many last hits.
So efficient. Let's remember, though, in the meantime, Colorful has no Town Portal. He has Push and Invulnerability and a Staff on the Naga, but no TP, so the fact he's being so ballsy and getting out with really, he doesn't lose anything, really, in these fights. He just continues to trade, doesn't overextend in the fights. It'd be very easy for him to overstay his welcome and lose 2-3 bears at the end, but no, he kills 4 or 5 units and then just gets out and continues to pull ahead in hero levels, in now actually supply, despite being on one base the entire game. Just so efficient from Colorful.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally true. Colorful taking the lead here. Level 4 on the Archmage would be amazing. Just 20 XP short for the level 2 Brilliance Aura. Would be amazing for the entire squad here. And only rifles, man. I don't know if they actually cut it. No transition coming. Lots of breakers, which always feels a little counterintuitive against bears, because it's normal damage versus medium armor, which gives extra damage, but they steal the roar, they steal the redo, they have feedback damage, which does extra damage to bears, and now 15 Sway's kiting game has to be on point. But oh boy, the bears get good amount of surface here. Breakers just torn apart by bears, and so is the Panda, has a potion. Needs to use it soon. Heal Scroll counters this Breath of Fire so beautifully. Militia only take care of a summon in the back and almost all die.
Yeah, and still Colorful yet to lose a unit in these fights. He's about to lose perhaps 2 bears. One goes down to the Militia, so that summon and 1 bear were killed by every single peasant in the main base. And is there enough health for Colorful to stay? Again, there could be a position where he overextends, but the Panda's the one overextending in his last second. But again, just you need to kill some units, or it doesn't even matter if your Panda gets out, and now it's 41 supply against 59. Only 1 bear, unless I saw... No, yeah, only 1 bear dying in, I think, these last 4 fights, Neil.
This is Colorful and his mechanics, man. They are just incredible. One of the best Night Elf in the world with that, on par with Moon mostly. When he gets the chance to play a lot of bears, he's incredible. Would have loved for him...
Very well played.
Would have loved for him to skill the Hawk to reveal the Panda and maybe Fog Lightning or something, but I guess the mana was a little low for that play.
Yeah, that'd be kind of sick, actually. He could have a Wisp at the lab as well. It hasn't been crapped yet, though. That just shows how aggressive, as 1 bear falls finally to Breath of Fire, just shows how aggressive Colorful's been. I mean, he hasn't crept his expansion, he hasn't crept his, I think that whole green is still available, his lab's still available, and now he's finally being pushed back to his base thanks to the Panda finally, finding his Breath of Fire, but there's gonna be rejuve, there's still a little bit of Moonwell mana, and still only 43 supply for 15 Sway.
No Militia, he used so many to just hold and survive during that push of Colorful, otherwise would have loved to see some towers, maybe a shop here.
He's literally got no peasants in his main base. He's transferring the lumber peasants from the expansion to mine gold at the main base. You know you're hurting when, and the bear is definitely putting in the hurt right now.
Oh my. He's so strong. He is so strong right now. The Panda is not the carry that he's supposed to be. Has almost no mana anymore. That was the last Breath of Fire. Archmage not the support he's supposed to be. And the Blink Bear trying to get some bashes here on level 5. Not only bash, but also Blink, making him so mobile. Yes, he can be dispelled, but he has so much HP that it's almost not worth it. That is game for our NetEase champion, winning the opening map.
Great comeback there by Colorful. You mentioned it once again, relying on his mechanics. His micro is really good, or as he likes to say, it's called micro, bro. And yeah, looking really good there. A shame for 15 Sway. Honestly, that early game was amazing. He got the fast expansion. He lost no peasants. He got to tier 2 quickly. The Beastmaster was stuck on level 2 for a long time. He was never able to counter expand. Honestly, that lead, you're supposed to win that game. But 15 Sway unfortunately making a few mistakes, especially with the resources. That little Naga plus Beastmaster attack, it didn't look like too much, but he killed like 4 or 5 peasants, and 15 Sway didn't remake them. He was not concerned about his resource. He thought he didn't need the peasants, but that's where his experience is perhaps lacking. He needed to remake those peasants and open up the main so that he doesn't get blocked. And if he had been able to do that, he would have been able to get to 70 supply quickly, get some scrolls, and then most likely win that game. So a few mistakes biting 15 Sway there in the end, which is a shame. He could have had that game, absolutely.
Yeah, it seemed like it almost came down to like the macro, like you point out, just those few peasants going down, and then the lumber was hurt, and you really want to get up to that 70 supply, 65 to 70 supply as early as you possibly can. And if you don't have the lumber to do it, and you can't get a shredder, because we saw as he crept out the lab, he just got pushed and then pushed again, then pushed again. It's just very rough, and that's the whole idea of the strategy. Like, you're not going to win in the long game, tier 2 against tier 3, but you can win in the short game if you can get that 20 supply advantage, 15 supply advantage. So hopefully in map 2, we can see that a little bit cleaner, not so much micro or strategy wise, but just macro wise with the lumber, really.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate, but he showed good skills. He showed a great game plan that worked out wonderfully. The community is coming in, and we cracked the 3,500. Thanks to Blast. Shout out to you, my man. Elf, use your hero spells. Maybe sometimes. Thanks for everything, guys. Warcraft 3 forever. F Blizzard. And a $20 donation by Interkarma. Thank you very much. $3,521 at the moment on day 1 of this tournament. Of course, thanks to Governor and the War3Champions team themselves. But of course, that is not the limit yet. Feel free to chip in. Match Reno is open until Sunday evening. There's also Twitter quests and sponsor quests that you can do without using your own money. If you want to contribute $1 or $2, we are very, very grateful for that, as well as we are grateful for our subscribers here on Twitch. Thank you, Noodle, for almost 2 years. Pricey James, thank you for the first time sub. Kiesel for the 713 sub. All the Smoke 1 for the 15 month. Looking forward to this weekend. Less than 3 W3C. Wonderful. And now we hopefully get a wonderful game on a wonderful map. Let's move over.
News.
To
Echo
Isles. Remo, what do you know about fake news with a tinfoil hat? Off we go.
That's the guy who's an expert on iceberg theories. Yeah. I see how it is.
Dang, good comeback. We do have 15 Sway with his back against the wall, facing the lower bracket on the upper left-hand side in yellow, and Colorful on the upper right-hand side, plus an engine of 4 in the middle of the map at the mercenary camp, which just surprised me a little bit.
Warden?
Never ever.
Oh my god. Yeah, he really doesn't like the Warden, does he? Huh.
Dude.
Demon Hunter.
He should never play Warden again until he puts in like 2 years of work. Because...
have you seen it before, I assume? And it didn't go well?
Oh yeah. Very, very not well. Demon Hunter, though, his signature hero, basically. And that's kind of cool. I like it. Lots of pressure. Maybe he's expecting a Mountain King. And he is right on the dot with that. Colorful with the read. And Carson's going to explain you why this is bad news for 15 Sway.
Yeah, that is super sick from Colorful. Of course, 15 Sway, it's not really his off race, but it's definitely not the race he plays the most. Typically, when you're playing not your main race, you have a few pocket strategies. We saw that cool creep route into the immediate harass on Last Refuge, and on Echo Isles, we're probably going to see things like Mountain King almost across the board for 15 Sway. So Colorful, knowing that, goes for the perfect counter to the Mountain King with the Demon Hunter. Why is the Demon Hunter the perfect counter to the Mountain King? We can see the mana pool of the Mountain King, 225 on level 1. That means he's got 1 Stormbolt, he gets mana burnt for 50, And then he has one more Stormbolt, and then he's pretty much a big footman. Once the Demon Hunter hits level 3 for level 2 mana burn, it gets even worse. You need to invest into mana potions just to get one Stormbolt off. And if you want to get Thunderclaps off, well, you know, better luck next time. The Demon Hunter is a hard counter to the Mountain King.
Yep. The good news and a little bit of silver lining is that mana potions got quite a bit cheaper. So you can at least get 1 or 2 spells out if you purchase these potions. It is another expansion attempt by 15 Sway. Demon Hunter's coming over. No level 2 yet for the Demon Hunter, but the Ring of Regen. An excellent item. You want to harass, you want to be in the human's face, and if you get a little bit of extra HP every second, plus the Shadow Priest that is supposed to heal your units, that's absolutely excellent.
Yeah, dude, that might be the best item. I'm a little bit of a fanboy of this item, as you may know, but I think that might be the best item in this situation. It's going to be so useful. Yeah. And of course, we have from Colorful an immediate counter expansion. It's going to be up pretty much at the same time. He'll just have to walk over, of course, and then he'll have to creep out that natural. For now, there's one more Stormbolt. Okay, there is 4 units, but I don't think they'd be able to hold this around. And level 2 would be nice for 15 Sway, because then you would have Bash, and that would help him out for not just being a big footman any longer. But for now, this Mountain King's out of mana, and it's probably going to be out of mana for quite a while.
It's turning, or it is already 8 p.m. That means boots and staff are available. Colorful gets them both, as he's expanding, not teching. Curious about that choice. But I mean, what's Colorful supposed to do against that, right? Like, what sells the TP for boots?
Interesting.
Yep.
I mean, maybe he felt pressured to do so because, of course, the Demon Hunter had Boots of Speeds and he was getting low HP and he didn't have enough gold at the time. So maybe he felt like he needed to, but definitely an interesting choice, especially when you want to go cross map and perhaps pressure the counter expansion of your opponent. You're not going to have that town portal to do so. And in the meantime, Colorful, of course, the great player that he is, multitask creeping with the Ancient of War, going to move that Tree of Life over soon as well. And he's teching too now that he has a little bit of extra golds. This is going very, very well yet again for Colorful.
I do agree. Ring of Protection, also a decent item if the Demon Hunter wants to be in the front row. Sometimes you have to dive a little bit to get close to that MK to burn his mana, and with a little bit more armor, you can certainly survive that. Finally, Mercenary Camp for 15 Sway, Parryapt. Not as good as the items that Colorful got. Loses a Peasant there as well. But okay, having access to this Mercenary Camp for Berserkers and his own Shadow Priest is never too bad. And Colorful now starting to move the tree over. Will take some time until this expansion pays off. In the tech department, 15 Sway is actually not that far behind.
Yeah, he seems to tech very greedily. He techs on like 7 lumber peasants at home. Of course, he can build some at his expansion, but he hasn't been building a ton, and his lumber's already getting quite low, but we'll see how it works out once tier 2 hits. For now, there's quite a few footmen. There might even be enough to win the ground fight for 15 Sway, but the priest is being focused. The Demon Hunter getting close to level 3.
There's Bash, but he's not attacking.
Hit him! Oh.
What? What were you saying?
He just needed... I said hit him. I said hit him.
Hit him.
I wanted him to hit him.
Yeah, he wasn't close, wasn't in range. Footmen were blocking, so it was just the staff. Otherwise, if it's a bash like this one, would have forced the TP. Now we get level 3. Powerful Stormbolt if there's mana. But for the potions to be available in the shop, he needs tier 2, which is finishing soon, but not yet. Colorful has arrived, or is arriving on tier 2 too, and causing more trouble with his Demon Hunter.
Alright, there is a bolt. Staff's on cooldown, Neo, so maybe a town portal could be forced. It's a tricky surround, but Tricky is 15 Sway's middle name, so he's gonna land it, and this is gonna be a TP. Nicely done.
Oh, another bash. So you don't know about his nickname in the community, but you know about his middle name, huh?
Of course. I know everyone's middle name.
What's my middle name?
Danger.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, true. That's actually my third middle name. That's correct.
There we go. You set me up for that one. Right. Push and vulnerability. Heal scroll about to spawn in the shop. And 15 Sway seems to be the one getting that, and he's going to need it because the Panda's starting to creep up. Maybe the 12 o'clock will be crept by that Panda next. That's the thing about Echo Isles. It can be a little bit tricky to creep your second hero up, but if you have the map control, if you can get that marketplace, the Panda can get close to level 3. Not quite there, but close. But for now, he's actually colorful. Going down to creepjack the shop might not be the best choice, but he could force this heal scroll quite early.
He has no TP, mind you. He might be blocking him here. The Panda could have a huge impact. Fry all these footmen. There was a nice snipe on the Shadow Priest, and the situation is getting a little better for 15 Sway. That heal scroll had value, but now it's gone.
Oh, Bash maybe, ring around the Rosie. This is the nice thing about Bash. You can still secure kills even without the Stormbolt, so that's quite nice. And the heal scroll was forced, but not a lot of footmen have fallen, so Sway still has quite the powerful force despite the Mountain King not being too impactful thus far. And Archmage second. Of course, you need that if you're going to stay on tier 2.
Old man couldn't find his horse in the early game, but now he has arrived, as well as E. Oakley with the 11-month resub and 5 gifted subs on top. F. Blizz, Lone Live Warcraft 3. Not too sure if he wanted to say long, but lone fits as well, as we take care of ourselves here in the Warcraft community.
PogChamp, thank you, thank you. Congrats to the 5 that got their gifties in here, and congrats to the Mountain King for not getting Mana Burnt right there. The Demon Hunter tried to find an angle, but at least he's going to have a Stormbolt and that Mana Potion we've been waiting for, Neil. He's finally got it on the Mountain King, so at least one Stormbolt will happen in the next fight.
Wow.
And the next fight will be over this 12 o'clock.
Here we go, Dryads coming in, no bears yet, not even one on Adapt for Reju, which would be good, because there are no breakers yet. So we're fighting over the one big consumable, and oh my, there's no Stormbolt as the Demon Hunter comes in right on time. Who's gonna get it? I'm not sure. Wait, did the Mountain King got it? Big Mana Potion! Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know who got the experience. I can't actually see, but the big Mana Pot is what's most important. Uses the little Mana Pot to kill that priest and trying to avoid the Mana Burn, which he does so successfully. Yeah, I gotta say, it's kind of, the game is kind of inverse from the last, because last game, the early game was better for 15 Sway. This game, it was obviously much better for Colorful. And now the sort of mid game that went really well for Colorful on Last Refuge is kind of going not bad for 15 Sway, considering the circumstances of being hard countered by this Demon Hunter.
For sure. Panda can still cause some trouble. Does he have a better army composition this time? Still rifle and mass casters, right? No workshop again. Doesn't seem to be a fan of mortar teams.
Yeah, strange. I mean, he could definitely afford to workshop, get a couple of those bad boys. That also allows him to get up to 70 supply much quicker, but he is going to reach it regardless. And is there a supply advantage? Yeah. Colorful's banking, so 15 Sway is going to end up with a 20 supply advantage. What he also needs, though, is to get the next heal scroll. 50 seconds before the next heal scroll spawns, and he would love to get that to bolster this push, or else the Panda is probably going to tear him up, because the Panda very close to level 3 himself. So 15 Sway is in a good spot as long as he can grab that heal scroll before he fights.
Man, Colorful was banking a lot, and now he spent a lot of it as well. 4 orb, 4 staffs. Can he hold this? 58. Did he break too late? Was there even a chance to break earlier? Moonwells are finishing now for up to 80. Mana Burn, was about to say, was that an illusion?
Oh, it might have been, because the Mountain King still has a ton of mana. That one landed on the right one, but he's got one more Stormbolt and that Mana Pot still, and of course he's got the Aura as well, which is going to help. Now this human army, honestly, it's a lot of footmen, you know. Like, it's big when you look at the supply number, but it's not actually that scary if the Panda can hit level 3.
Yeah, the value isn't too great, but can he reach level 3? It's like 40% away, and footmen are pretty good in killing buildings. This time, 15 Sway with the peasants. He doesn't need them to get more lumber. No, the police is here to arrest Colorful and give us game 3.
The illusions are so impactful. The wisps are pulled. Roar being used. The Pushman vulnerability used quite early, but a rejuve over top of it as well to heal up that Demon Hunter. Detonates now land pretty big. The Mountain King has yet to use that greater mana potion and has no mana currently. The Ogre Mauler could go down as a big chunk of experience, but there's no levels up soon to be found. The Panda, though, about 1 kill away, and then he's got plenty of mana left over.
But there's towers now up in the bottom left. Panda gets level 3 finally. Most of the footmen are gone, though. Against the Breakers, the Breath of Fire doesn't do too much, but it reaches a little bit of the backline, which is nice. 2 bears about to drop. These illusions, man, on both sides. They were soaking up so much damage. 15 Sway at 70. Goes for another Stormbolt. Now the big mana is... He has yet to be committed. Could be quite impactful. Roryu! Stormbolt! So close, but there's the stab. MK gotta retreat a little bit. These priests have to take care. Mercenaries falling. Bears still fighting these towers. 2 about to drop. And what a clutch fight. Can he hold on to this? Big mana potion gone. But also 2 bears.
2 bears, soon to be 3. There's 1 more Stormbolt, and the staff, of course, still on cooldown for another 5 seconds. Maybe the Stormbolt could find this last low HP bear, but all of a sudden 70 supply against 65, and let's not forget this is a tier 3 against tier 2 army in favor of Colorful. The Moonwell's starting to fall. That might supply block Colorful for the time being, but Sway seems to be running out of steam. He's got a Town Pearl to get out if he really needs to, but he would love to do some serious damage before getting out.
Ooh, MK getting attacked by 4 bears at a time. No items anymore, only the TP on the Archmage. He can't really get a hero kill. Colorful, what a hold! Despite the towers, despite the big mana, he comes out on top of that fight. Yeah, 1 Stormbolt, alrighty, but the staff is ready too, so in case of danger, just beam him out. And now Colorful got the lead again. Yes, his bears are really slow, so he can't catch up anymore. But the Expo still stands. It's still a tier 3 versus tier 2. Demon Hunter and Panda got the levels they need, and 15 Sway is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, very nicely done by Colorful. Let's not forget that he literally broke upkeep as he was getting pushed there from 50 supply. So, and that was a 20 supply deficit, and then he ends up after that fight being up 10 supply. So very well done. The follow-up for 15 Sway, it might have to be something like just trying to creep the couple camps he has remaining. And then, you know, it's always hurts, but maybe a double retrain into Clap Blizzard. You might need to do that. The Water Elementals, the Stormbolt, not finding a lot of value right now. And then you can play around the Invis on the Sorks to avoid getting your Mountain King mana burned over and over again. That's probably going to be the play into the late game, but Colorful is not going to let 15 Sway get to the late game. He's going to push right here, right now, even going to steal probably... Or has he stolen the heal scroll? Did 15 Sway get it? 15 Sway did at least get the heal scrolls that he needed previously. But is it too little too late? It might be.
Feels like it. He's trying to cut off reinforcements. That is good damage from a Demon Hunter with boots who can chase. And that is 2/3 of a Rifleman gone. Position's a little wonky.
Oh.
There was a Stormbolt ready. Okay, Berserker for free.
Getting close to level 5 on that Mountain King, too. That'd be nice for some hero focus. The positioning's not bad, but there's just no AoE. You imagine if there was Blizzard or Clap on these bears, it could be great, but there's just not enough impact right now from this army or the heroes for 15 Sway.
I totally agree that AoE is lacking. Like, this army is pretty one-dimensional. Mostly bears. Archmage would probably be the better retrainee because he's in the back of the army, can stay safe, and Blizzard doesn't affect the breakers but does affect the bears, so if the bears want to do some damage you can catch them and freeze them. Mountain King will always be in the center, but he got that Invis now, all revealed by Colorful. Boom, mana burning meeting, and dodges that bolt with the anti-magic. Absolute beauty.
What an opening to the fight for Colorful. Well done, and now the positioning is very rough indeed. The Panda still has tons of mana and a potion of mana. 1 bear about to fall. The staff, of course, on cooldown. Fairy Dragon finally comes in. Mountain King has been out of mana this entire fight. No impact at all. 1 breaker going to fall. 75 against 73. Still nice Breath of Fire in retreating, but immediately dispelling that haze. And, you know, 15 Sway is still managing to keep up in supply, but he said the AoE is missing and there's no workshop, which might, you know, supplement for that AoE that's missing if he were to go into it earlier, but it's too late now to go into more games.
Yeah, I think so too. Power build on a workshop and then go for them. Also, they don't have fragmentation shards. What's the value really? Oh, that Fairy Dragon, a little suicidal here, I gotta say. But distracting a little takes the damage away from the bears. Mountain King in trouble. Needs to go for the invul very soon. Archmage has the heal scroll, uses that prior to that, but it feels like he can just shoot through this. So little mana on everything. It's just normal fights here. Crazy.
Yes, rough. The panda, yeah, like you say, is out and kind of low on health. If there was maybe a level up to level 5 and a mana pot, maybe a hero kill could be the way. The staff, of course, and the town portal's on the panda. So if that guy gets storm bolted and Colorful's caught slipping for a second, maybe that's the way. But the Mountain King quite low. Bash and town portal used earlier rather than later. Level 5 and a bear falls actually 69 supply against 68 at the end of the day. Somehow 15 sway holds on here, but he needs to transition into something, whether it be a retrain on one of the heroes, whether it be mortar teams tier 3 tech. He needs to switch something now.
15 Sway got away with a lot here. Building more units is just more breakers, more rifles, and a lot of gold, of course, going into heal scrolls. Perfect timing. Cooldown is off now, plus the invul. MK level 5 with a mana potion. Stormbolt 3. That is, of course, one of the best Hail Mary plays you can go for. Hurts a lot, stuns for a long time. And the Invis plays over and over and over again. I love it. Is there dust? One dust is available.
All right. Retrain to clap now on the Mountain King. And that's level 3, so that's pretty effectful. But you're going to have to avoid that mana burn as best you can. You ideally, with the mana pool the Mountain King has, would love to get 2 claps and then a third with that potion of mana. If he only gets like 2, including that mana pot claps, it's not going to be enough to win the fight for him. He's going to need to really play around the mana burn perfectly. And Colorful, of course, is going to have to try to get the right angle on his Demon Hunter. This is a decent positioning for 15 Sway, but the towers are exposed and canceled. The Mountain King needs big claps, but the bears are split right now.
Wow, is he expecting this to happen? This is incredible. That didn't do much, but the Mountain King is far away from the Demon Hunter. Can't burn at the moment, so we will see another clap. And they are so powerful! No mana, no heal scroll, of course, on Colorful's side in this army. He can't really kite, which is what you want to do. But once the bears are gone, this might be 15 Sway's game to take here. Info post on the Archmage. Oh, so no, level 4 level up! And the Demon Hunter dies, actually. Oh, unfortunate lag by Duro. But, man, Colorful. Can he save this? Can he kill this MK? I don't think so. Massive supply soon. The Panda has to carry this, but I doubt he can. Has to TP out of this with more bears falling. Also, the Dryad army is super reduced. And that's a lot of yellow units here, of course. But not much died.
Yeah, that was very close. I mean, I think if the Panda wasn't so low, it would have been 15 Sway that had a town portal out there. There was so many human units getting low. And there was a big bank behind this for 15 Sway as well. Colorful.
Yeah.
Keeps up in supply, but yeah, 15 Sway had about 1,200 gold banked at the end of that fight. It manages to translate that at least into a heal scroll and another potion of invulnerability. That Demon Hunter kill was clutch. I thought we were going to see mana pot into another clap. It seemed juicy, but 15 Sway found the much better opening, knowing the staff was on cooldown. But also, now the Panda's level 5.
What a baller, right? Going for clap and Stormbolt against the Demon Hunter, soon to be level 5. Like, no passive at all anymore.
Yeah, it's tricky. And he did get those 2 claps before using the mana pot. I pointed out that he absolutely needed to get. He played very well around the mana burn, and Colorful played very well around the clap, actually, with that initial split, but he kind of dove a little bit too in, but his army is still very, very menacing. Fighting before the Demon Hunter, though, means this Mountain King's going to have full reign to use all this 325 mana pool.
But he's also at 50%, and the bears get free damage. Has to use the clap already to get some crowd control in, as of course clap slows a little bit, but the bears say hello to the reinforcements, and they do extra damage to the entire army. 15 Sway, man, you're in a world of trouble. The next clap, yeah, but there's no follow-up. He just has to run away. This Panda with level 3, like, if you expose the rest of the army, they will just burn. Everything's so hurt. MK has an invul, but that's just a 7-second safety. How do you get out here now? With the TP, I guess. But that Panda got so much bonus XP. Close to level 6 now. It's a blessing in disguise that he's solo leveled. Earth, Storm, and Fire. Really close now. That's a game-winning ultimate.
Yeah, that is. It's simply... You cannot defeat the Panda level 6 with a tier 2 human army. It really, like... Yeah, 15 Sway has to be very careful to make the next fight a very good fight, or when this Panda hits level 6, even if they're dead even supply, even if there's a 10-15 supply advantage for 15 Sway, the Panda ultimate is just ridiculous. This is all medium armor units for the most part, and then some unarmored casters. The Panda ultimate does tons of normal damage. The Wind does tons of piercing damage. It has Pulverize. It has Immolation. It is ridiculous against this tier 2 human army. You cannot let this Panda get level 6, and if you do, you have to kill every unit before he does.
Yeah, it will be very, very tough to deal with this. Colorful on the way to the Winnerbracket quarterfinal, and again the dodge, man. He is so good with the anti-magic potion. And there's reveal. Did he catch him? Yes, he did. Mountain King is revealed, can be burned. And maybe that was his last saving grace here. The claps are fine. There's another mana potion. He will kill 1 or 2 bears, but man, the Panda can reach the berries. Oh, ho, ho, the AoE is just so sick. Will we celebrate with an Earth Storm and Fire? No, he's not giving that to us. It's GG. And colorful, man. Woo-hoo. Brings the Infernal. 215 Sways Expo and advances.
Yeah, good play there by Colorful. It always feels bad when you play this MK into a Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter first was not played at all in this matchup for a long time. We've been seeing it coming back a bit, Demon first every now and then, and that is not what you want to have happen. Normally, I think the thing that's expected here is Warden first, and then MK against Warden works out pretty well. MK against Demon, we saw here, not quite that amazing. In the past, when you slow down everything and you have that big army, maybe it can still work. But the Bears nowadays, we have seen how strong they are. When you're in the defensive position, you're getting pushed. Having every Bear come in with double rejuve is just so strong nowadays. And I think perhaps humans need to change gears here and not go for these tier 2 pushes anymore and rather play with tier 3 ultra late game, but also hard on this map because there's not much left to creep anymore. Tough choices to make here for 15 Sway. But especially the first map, unfortunately lost that one. Anyways, Colorful making it through 2-0. He is the NetEase champion after all. Looking certainly good here, especially in the middle late game stages.
Oh man, this is quite great. And Colorful looking real hot. This means we get a Night Elf versus Human in the next round as well, where I think we do have a result. Hawk defeats Chemico 2-0. This is not something that I expected, to be honest, but that gives us a super cool Winnerbracket quarterfinal in Colorful versus Hawk.
Very interesting. Yeah, Hawk has always had a very good human mirror, so I suppose it's not too huge of an upset that he's able to beat Chimico, but Chimico definitely considered to be the best human player in the world currently, so he's probably pretty happy with that result, but now he's got to go up against an absolute destroyer in Colorful, so we'll see how this works out. He was able to defeat 15 Sway, but Hawk definitely more experienced than 15 Sway in this matchup, for sure. He's a very old school player, a very much older than 15 Sway as well. So we'll see how this goes. It should be a great match.
All right, we get Colorful Hawk here on our stream. We get on Todd's stream the lower bracket round 1, where we find 15 Sway versus Chemico. This could be a top 6 match in every tournament on the planet. And here in the War3Champions season finals, we get it in the first round of the lower bracket. Just so shows how stacked this one is. We're gonna do the map picks and bans. We're gonna set up the server, and then we welcome you back to a wonderful day with more than 9,000 viewers at times. Absolutely love it. Sorry about the little spikes there. We played on the Chinese server, and yeah, that happens sometimes. Thank you, Elagatua. 58 month of subbing, man. You're amazing. 58 Sway. Nice one. I'm Hampton. Thank you for the 8-month, and War3 Stan 2-month resub. Love you guys. Also, the crowdfunding goes well, 3,571, as Evan comes in with a big $50. F Blizz, long live Warcraft 3. Thank you, Evan. Feels like this message comes across, and if you're following me on Twitter, you see this little lizard. We came up with that. There's something rhymes with that, right? Spam this lizard to say fuck you, Blizzard. And maybe we see that here in chat. Off we go into a little break, then into the Winnerbracket quarter final between Colorful and Hawk. It's China versus Russia. See you in a bit.